Welcome to WWE Attitude Years 2000, where Triple H buried everyone, The Rock roasted everything, and Vince McMahon was out here beefing with his kids. TLC got brutal. The Radicals bailed on WCW, and nothing made sense, but we loved every second. Hop into our time machine, and let's get uncensored.
What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, joined by my own personal Hot Commodity Ant B, and we are getting ready to jump into our time machines, and you're welcome to come along as we go back to Y2K and cover the Attitude Years Season 3.
Raw is War.
Yep, from November 13th, 2000, live in Columbus, Ohio.
And I remember at 10 o'clock it would turn to Warzone.
Currently in that time period, we just saw the presidential election. We're actually in the middle of a recount during this time, so there hasn't been a candidate elected yet. But fun stuff. We're towards the end of 2000.
In other words, this is when Bush was cheating.
Pretty much. We've got another month left, and then we're moving on to 2001. But before we get there, we got to hit Survivor Series. And to do that, we've got to cover Raw and SmackDown, and then we're at the Survivor Series. So kicking off Raw, WWF Champion Kurt Angle comes out, and Angle says, "I challenge Undertaker for Survivor Series because I am the most fightingest WWF Champion. I am a superior athlete, Undertaker, American badass. I will prove you're both bad and an ass. I accepted a challenge to defend my title tonight. The person that agreed to fight me with one arm tied behind his back. Undertaker, I hope you're taking notice." So Kurt Angle is taking on Crash Holly, who has his cousin Molly Holly with him at ringside. Crash has one arm tied behind his back. Crash is able to untie himself and goes after Angle, but Angle gets the win after applying an ankle lock. After Kurt Angle grabs a steel chair and hits Crash Holly in the face, we see the return of Hardcore Holly, who got taken out by Kurt Angle a couple months ago. He runs down, Edge and Christian run down, and then followed by The Undertaker, who destroys everybody. But Kurt Angle punches The Undertaker and runs off. But we see the return of Hardcore Holly here, but most importantly, Undertaker taking care of business. What you think?
Yeah, I thought it was just kind of like funny that Kurt Angle was like telling The Undertaker to take notice that he was fighting Crash Holly. That was kind of silly. Because he made it seem like he had some big victory coming up. Yeah, so it's still good build up though. It's like classic Kurt Angle stuff, and I'm for sure excited to see The Undertaker kick Kurt Angle's ass.
The American badass. We have a special hardcore tag team match to start the night. We have Chris Jericho and the hardcore champion Steve Blackman teaming up to take on Test with Trish Stratus and Kane. Jericho and Kane fight on the ramp. Kane drops Jericho across the railing, but Jericho hits Kane with a trash can 4 times. Test accidentally hits Kane with a kendo stick, allowing Jericho to hit Kane with a lion saw, and Chris Jericho and Steve Blackman get the win. More importantly, Jericho has pinned Kane. Afterwards, Kane chokeslams Test.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting bored of the whole Jericho and Kane thing. Hopefully they'll have a match soon that will come to it. I don't really have too much to know about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that happens later on that gets my interest more piqued, but the Radicals come out next with Terry. Chris Benoit says, "There was a time when I didn't get along with Triple H, but after watching what kind of a man he truly is, I can now respect him. We've reformed and come up with a game plan to team with Triple H. Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the men you cheer for, they're outnumbered and they will be out cold if they get in our way. Anyone is welcome to prove us wrong." And then Eddie says, "Me and Triple H both have something in common. We both kick China to the curb." And then Commissioner Foley comes out and he books the Radicals against Billy Gunn, China, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. But what do you think of the Radicals teaming up helping Triple H here?
Yeah, I don't quite understand it because, Benoit wants the belt. And Triple H is never going to let that happen as long as, they're he has something to do with it. And you know, it really didn't make sense for him to say that about China because Triple H just teamed with China a week ago to get justice on who?
I think it was the Radicals.
Right? That's what I was thinking. So, yeah, like DX, the old DX just beat their ass like a week ago. So, yeah, Triple H is out for himself, and they're going to get a rude awakening if they think that, you know, they're going to be Triple H's little bitch boys, and that's all it's going to be.
Fuck the Radicals. Kane and Chris Jericho are seen fighting backstage, and Kane tosses Chris Jericho through a glass window. Jericho is bleeding everywhere, but Kane continues this issue with Chris Jericho. He's mad that he got pinned, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see the two of them go at it at Survivor Series. Thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of tired of them, but I'm hoping that when they fight at Survivor Series, it will kind of wrap this up. You know, I want to see Jericho go after the title, and Kane, you know, he could move on to bigger and better things too.
Sorry. That's okay. Moving right along, the Dudley Boys defeat Taz and Raven after Taz and Raven accidentally hit one another, allowing the Dudleys to land a 3D to Taz. After Raven pushes Taz, and then Taz suplexes Raven through a table, and it looks like these two are done working together. Finally.
Yeah. It didn't really make sense anyway, except for the fact that they were both from ECW. They weren't really looking to tag team or go after the tag team titles. So I think Taz just needed a friend, and it was a way to bring Raven in. But I haven't seen anything too impressive with Raven, and I think I said this to you like a week or two ago that Paul Heyman said that he felt Raven was very underrated and that he was one of the best wrestlers, and that WWE just didn't know what to do with him.
Raven was good, but I mean, by this point, his story wasn't really given much. Michael Cole is about to interview Lowdown and Tiger Ali Singh, but he sees The Rock and interviews The Rock, and The Rock just talks shit about everybody. We then get Edge, Christian, and WWF champion Kurt Angle against the Hollies and the Undertaker. Undertaker and the Hollies get the win after Taker chokeslams Angle and lands a last ride, and the Undertaker has pinned the WWF champion ahead of Survivor Series.
Well, this kind of gives me a bad feeling because I feel like if The Undertaker got this win, he's probably going to lose at Survivor Series. And Kurt Angle just also got the belt, so I feel like he's probably going to hold on to it. But, you know, The Undertaker's like one of my top 3 favorites, so it's always good to see him wrestle. And, yeah, I like the American Badass thing, but I like him better as The Undertaker.
Respect, sir. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and cuts a promo on Survivor Series and Triple H saying that his days are numbered and he's going to trap him like an animal. I'm excited for you to see that match. I still remember being a kid. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but being a kid, being like 7, well, I just turned, 8 at that point?
Yeah.
Being 8 years old, seeing that, I was like, oh, shit.
It's the Stone Cold and Triple H are fighting a Survivor Series.
Yeah, that match.
And is there any type of stipulation?
I think there is, but I don't think they've mentioned it yet. But I'll say
Okay.
I think it's unsanctioned.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have all the titles on the line: the tag championships and the women's title. Right to censor hold all those gold, so they're taking on the Hardy Boys and Lita. Lita moonsaults Ivory early on, but the Good Father side slams Lita. Ivory pins Lita, but Lita kicks out. Lita hits a flying Hurricane Rana Bull Buchanan, and then the Good Father pulls and pushes the referee, allowing Team Extreme to get a DQ victory, but Right to Censor hold on to the gold. Afterwards, Right to Censor attack Team Extreme, and Ivory lands a DDT to Lita. Fuck Right to Censor.
Yeah, this was messed up, but I get it. They need to hold on to the belts for a little while, so they just got them. But, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of this in the future. The Right to Censor cheating to hold on to their gold, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Next up, WWF European Champion, England's Goodwill Ambassador, William Regal, defending against the Road Dogg. And early on in this match, K-Kwik who comes to be known as Ron the Truth Killings, comes out and he starts rapping and hits William Regal with a microphone, allowing William Regal to get the DQ victory. And then he's like, Road Dogg, come on, man, let's rap, let's get rowdy. And they do the rowdy rap, Road Dogg and K-Kwik.
Well, first of all, in 3 more years from when this aired, I went to England, so I will be England's goodwill ambassador.
Okay.
But yeah, William Regal's been pretty funny, but nothing too exciting from him yet. And who is he against again?
Road Dogg. Road Dogg and K-Kwik.
Oh, that's right. But so also it was cool to see R-Truth's debut in WWE. I had never seen that before, and I didn't really know how he came in. And Road Dogg's one of my favorites, so that was kind of cool. And I'm excited to see what happens with them as a tag team. I've never seen them wrestle together.
Get rowdy.
Is that their thing?
Yeah.
Rowdy?
Our main event, the Radicals with Terry take on Billy Gunn.
What are they called?
I don't know. They're just K-Kwik and Road Dogg. Radicals against Billy Gunn, Chyna, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Early on, Rock lands a Samoan drop to Perry Saturn. Rock then hits a rock bottom for a 2 count. Chyna lands a handspring elbow to Eddie Guerrero in the corner. And then the end comes after Austin lands a stunner to Eddie Guerrero while The Rock and Chris Benoit fight backstage. So Austin, Rock, Chyna, and Billy Gunn get the win. Afterwards, Rock tosses Benoit into a bunch of objects in the parking lot area. However, Benoit is able to hit The Rock and he calls for a car. A car run comes by. And Rikishi comes out of the car window and nails The Rock in the ribs with a sledgehammer. We find out Triple H was the person driving the car. And damn, these people are committing fucking crimes here in WWE.
Yeah, this is definitely a crazy time. We never really see stuff like this anymore. It's definitely fun to watch and ridiculous at the same time. They're wrestlers and they're committing vehicular manslaughter. But yeah, I'm excited for all the matches, and I'm excited to see Stone Cold and Rikishi again.
You mean Stone Cold and
Triple H and Rikishi and Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both going to be definite headliners.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've come to the end of this episode of Raw. We're going to hit SmackDown up, and then we've got Survivor Series, which we're excited for. After Survivor Series, we have Armageddon, and then we're going to hit the Royal Rumble 2001, so I'm excited for that. Make sure to stay along with us. You can subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. Just search the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you like what you're hearing, also check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.